took the ball away there, number 7, at the last moment. 3rd down and 10. They might think about 2 downs here on their own 48-yard line. Blitz is on, free ball up in the air, almost caught too. And it's an incomplete pass. Ball went up in the air. Well, I don't know if he tried to catch it. I think he did try to catch it, but the ball came loose.
He did try to catch it, but it looked more like a punt than a pass. I tell you, look at this pressure. Sharika just gets off the line of scrimmage, and you know they were coming on that down, and they're coming hard, and he just gets in there and puts it in. Look at Turner. Turner, I'll tell you, Lackawanna is out for blood today. Well, they are just, everyone is putting helmet on helmets.
Well, they're very fortunate that ball wasn't picked off by Lackawanna. That's the type of pass when it goes straight up in the air like that can result in a defensive score. Lackawanna, this is by far their best first half of the year.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, this is what, with the big play, everyone, as he says, the big players show up, we're all right, and they've all shown up.
Wolfinger to punt it away. He fumbles the football. Steelers are going to have great field position. Steeler gets up and runs with it, but can't do it, and that's number 9, and what a first half for Larry Lewis.
Larry Lewis is just, he's been the all-star in this first half. He's had 3 or 4 big plays just on the ball. You get to the ball here, I'll tell you, but the win is just, it's got to be that they haven't played outside at all, Walt, because they are just not, they're not handling the ball whatsoever, and Lackawanna, on the other hand, has been able to handle the ball with pretty much ease in the first half.
Well, I think they're definitely shell-shocked, definitely shook, and they're not on their game.
Yeah,
I think Coach Bill Brown stopped them here, get them in halftime, and give them a good talking over and get them ready for that second half. Now they have to stop Lackawanna from scoring here, and Lackawanna can do it. With 26 seconds to go in the half, will be called for 5 yards here as they did not get the play off properly. This would be an offensive penalty on the Steelers. Now, do you take a chance here up 14-0 with a false start and 21 seconds to go? And, I've seen defensive scores happen.
Yeah, if I was there, I'd have to take the chance with the kids he's got on his squad. I mean, you said, well.
Procedure 88.
Well, it was 88.
Yeah, well, he wants to get out in that pass pattern.
That's Sirica.
And he's got the man-to-man coverage over here with Lambert and Keema Dickinson.
Yeah, Lackawanna has played a perfect first half of football, and they are playing a great football team, and they are also a great football team. Here's Turner, looking end zone, 30, 25, down at the 21, he had a shot. Well, he's elusive. He's about the only real big offensive threat here on the ground for either team.
So he's just having a great ball game. I mean, we look at him, look at it, nice call on the sprint draw, but give Turner a lot of credit. He has to change directions because they actually had him in the backfield, change directions, and gets down the right sideline. Puts on a nice move at the end. Here it is. Little sprint draw, gets outside, gets on the side, makes a nice little move there, gets a couple extra yards, and gets out of bounds, which is key.
And you better wrap him up, Mark. You don't wrap him up, he's gone.
Well, who would have thought that Kinsey on the other side of the ball would have maybe 10 yards if he's lucky in this first half.
Yeah, they're looking to Dickinson. Single coverage on the left for Keema. 12 seconds to go in the half. Kowalski looking for Sirica now, and it's picked off by Lambert. Run it out. He can run this back. He can go. Lambert 30, and they called it dead in the end zone. And I'm wondering why. He stopped, and that's why they call it in high school. He could have run that back.
You got to call it.
We'll see how they straighten that one out.
Well, apparently once you stop in high school, you're down.
Yeah, they're looking for Sirica. They try and use Dickinson as a decoy. He runs a post, and Sirica tries to slip underneath. But Lambert heads up, plays it real well, and picks it off.
I'm going to tell you what, this is a touchdown if he doesn't stop. He had Kowalski to beat, and I think Lambert's chances of beating Kowalski are pretty strong. I don't know where the stop came in. It came in after he crossed the goal line. No, I think he stopped at about the 10-yard line, not inside the end zone.
The coaches from Janesville DeWitt are not happy about the call. And
that was a touchdown. If he beat Kowalski down the sideline, he scored.
He had plenty of blockers in front of him. In Lackawanna, the players didn't seem to be responding to it.
Neither did Lambert. He seemed like he was just loafing on the play. There's no time on the clock. Now maybe we could take a look there. 1 second, one final time. Take a look one more time. Now you judge for yourself at home. You have to stop. Now, does he stop or not?
No, he just
you can't just stand still.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to catch his balance a little bit. He goes up in the air, catches the ball, comes down, makes a little hop step.
Like you used to dance the 1-2.
Not much dancing on that turf.
And Kinsey, he needs to go the distance or the half will come to an end. Dickinson sends him a little message on the sideline.
I'll tell you, and Lee and Wolfanger going at it a little bit, too. It's going to be a good second half.
I want to change my pick, Mark. How about you?
Yeah, we get a chance at halftime.
Score at the half, the Lackawanna Steelers, shocking. Janesville DeWitt, the Red Rams, 14-0. Well, the Lackawanna Steelers having a great first half, leading 14-0, and now let's go around Section 6.
Around Section 6. Last week was Section 5 or Section 6 in the New York State quarterfinals at Old UB Stadium. Two teams from Section 6 are moving on to the state semifinals in Rochester. The Lackawanna Steelers in Class B and the Niagara Wheatfield Falcons in Class A are Section 6's only remaining chances of state titles. The Lackawanna Steelers barely escaped the Hornell Red Raiders 16-12 and had to come from behind to do it. After 3 early turnovers, the Steelers overcame a 12-0 deficit behind the combination of quarterback Chuck Kowalski to tight end Robert Sirica. The Niagara Wheatfield Falcons and Frank Pavicic overpowered the number 2 class team in New York State, Greece Olympia, 31-6. The state semifinal matchups are set. Lackawanna takes on Jamesville DeWitt of Section 3, and Niagara Wheatfield takes on Vestal from Section 4. Your HGTV Sports top performance of the week goes to Niagara Wheatfield's Frank Pavicic. He was all over the field against Greece Olympia. On defense, Pavicic had 13 tackles, 4 sacks, and 1 pass deflection. On offense, he caught a 20-yard fade pass for a touchdown, and he ran 51 yards on an inside handoff for another score. Congratulations to Frank Pavicic, our HGTV top performer of the week. Let's look how Section 6 fares around New York State. In Class D, Randolph's at 11. Maple Grove is number 6. In Class C, Salamanca's at 20. Allegheny Limestone is 17. Portville at 15. Gowanda at 13. In Class B, number 19, it's Springfield. Buffalo's Hutch Tech is at number 10, and Lackawanna is at number 2. In Class A, 3 teams are there. Number 17, Tonawanda. And number 9, it's Sweet Home. And the top team in Class A in New York State, Niagara Wheatfield. And in Class AA, also 3 teams. It's North Tonawanda at 18, Jamestown at 15, and Orchard Park at number 11. And that's the state quarterfinal look around Section 6.
Save on your energy bills. Let the window experts at DeGeorge show you how. Our maintenance-free windows have solid vinyl framing and thermopane glass. For the look of wood inside, ask about our Greenwood models. Visit our showroom at 1049 Military Road and transform your old windows to new beautiful ones without disturbing existing walls.
Our work is backed by a solid staff of qualified installers, no subcontractors.
Call DeGeorge for a free estimate. We go where you are, no matter how far.
Sometimes it's best when you never use them. Fire extinguishers, get out of your free card. You know, things like that. Here's something else you'll probably never have to use. A quality guarantee from your cable system. For instance, if you're not on time for an installation appointment, then installation is free. If you have a scheduled repair and you're not on time for any reason, you'll receive a $20 credit guaranteed. But do you want to know the best thing about this quality guarantee? You'll probably never have to use it.
Lackawanna leading 14-0 at the half. Mark Collins with Walter John Sears. I'm shocked, Mark. I thought Janesville DeWitt had it going coming into this game.
Well, they did coming into the game, Walt, but who would have believed 9 yards in the first half rushing? I mean, their entire backfield averages 7 yards per carry. So they better have made some adjustments at halftime, both offensively and defensively.
Well, you know, Coach Bill Brown did. They had a long talk in the locker room. Sarika's kickoff was handled by the up man at the 20-yard line and across the 25, and Feeney will make the stop, and they get Bill Phelps down. And, of course, you want Bill Phelps to handle the football, not one of the deep men. Well, the stats in the first half, Lackawanna really controlled time of possession, 18:21 to 5:39. That one really jumped out.
Oh, no question. That was that first drive. I mean, that first drive, good sustained drive, takes a lot of time off the clock and gets some points.
Lackawanna had 11 first downs to only 3. They really controlled the football. Individually, Wade Turner had 87 yards. He led all rushers. Kowalski was 3 for 8. Kelly was 0 for 5 passing. Mike Lambert led his team, the Red Rams, with 18 yards. Kinsey held the 2 yards in the first half. Gains 2 on that first down play. Kinsey is a Division I prospect, has 13 Division I scholarships, number 8 right there, and it's probably his worst first half ever, I would imagine, in a high school uniform.
And it may have to do with the conditions. I mean, I'd hate to see this kid on a dry track, though, because, you know, obviously the stats speaks for themselves. Well, he's got 1,500 yards on the ground and 5,000 all-purpose yards, and Lackawanna just shuts him down completely in the first half.
Well, Lackawanna takes the opening kickoff, uses up 6 minutes on the clock. Second down and long. And that set the tone for the game. Now this is wide open for Lambert. Good block. First down for Lambert to the 39-yard line. And that's a spark that I think the Red Rams didn't have in the first half, obviously. And I believe that's their first down that they've picked up legitimately. They had one by a penalty.
And the coach has to be happy with that. I mean, coming out of the locker room, he knows that this is a real crucial drive for his ball team here, to move the chains, at least, sustain the drive a little bit and give them a little bit of confidence.
Well, Lackawanna was here in 1993 and lost on a heartbreaking 4- and 30-yard pass play to Chittenden Ingle in the last second. So they've had some rough luck. And a dive play in Wilbur, the fullback, a gain of a couple yards, but a different looking team coming out the second half right now for the Red Rams. They look a little bit more focused at this point.
Yeah, and the coach probably takes a minute and says, listen, you guys, you're a good football team. You know, we had a tough first half, but, forget about the first half. It's a whole new ball game. We're only down by a couple touchdowns. Let's go out and execute. We just didn't execute well in the first half. We fumbled the ball around a little bit. Let's just execute on our blocks. Let's run hard, and let's get back in the ball game.
Second down and 8, and excellent coaching by Bill Moore and his staff defensively against this Red Rams offensive juggernaut. Kelly back to pass, throws wide open Lambert. He's got it. Sure tackle by Kima Dickinson. That's when you have an all-star player like Kima Dickinson, you don't get many yards after you catch it.
Well, we're seeing some great matchups on the outside. I mean, they have great offensive players, and Lackawanna matches up great on defense. And there's Dickinson. You're right. That's a sure tackle right there. And I'll tell you one thing, keep an eye on Joey West. I don't know what's gotten into him today, Walt, but they lined him up over the center. He's jumping over top of the center on almost every snap. And he's really, I think he's confusing the quarterback quite a bit.
Almost in the backfield before they hand it off, beating the snap count. 3rd down and 5. A player like Dickinson, one of the very few in New York State that can make that tackle on Lambert. Remember, Lambert's 191 pounds. A lot of movement, no call. Quarterback option. Good one. First down. Lambert, 50. 45-yard line, West drags them down. And the Red Rams have shown up to start the second half.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to die. They're not going to die. They came too far. They got too good of a football team to lay down and die in the second half. But I tell you, Joey West, we were just talking about him, good pursuit from his linebacker position in the middle to get out there and stop that one. It was a big gainer. But one thing we're looking here is he's executed well the option. But Sarika is taking he's taking a little bit of a risk. He is hitting the quarterback. But if he plays that one and plays the pitch a little bit more, you don't want to give these guys too much room on the corner.
2 consecutive first downs. Mike Lambert has carried well in this second half so far. Oh, they got him! Huge play there. And that's your man.
Oh, boy.
Joey West.
I'll tell you, he's fired up today, and he is just getting, his speed is the big linemen. I mean, they're big and physical, but they're just not quick enough to stay with West. He is getting off the ball. They don't even see him. He's by him before they even see him, and he's in the backfield. Just take a look at him there. He's just got a look in his eye like, no one's going to look at it here. The lineman, he gets through here before they even know what happened. And there he is. That's his lineman there. He can't stay with him. West, boom, just takes Kelly down, and I'll tell you.
It looks like he was a pulling guard, you know. Here's Joey West, 5'10", 174. They say pound for pound the best athlete and the strongest for his size on Lackawanna.
And speed kills.
And a sophomore. Joey West around 2 more years.
David, it's hard to hear you.
Wow. Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Well, those are the guys I like to refer to them as the super sophomores. I mean, it's incredible that West and Lee are only sophomores, and Turner's only a junior, so he's going to have...
also a junior.
Yeah, he's going to have his entire backfield back next year. And, you know, if they keep it up, they'll be on the way to the States this year and maybe next year.
Now, don't count your chickens too soon. Coach Bill Moore doing a fine job in this game, and his assistants Tony Pagliai, Paul Fitzgerald, Kevin Pagliai, and Joe Jurgay. And a fine job all year, I should say, also by Coach Bill Moore. But last week we thought that maybe Cornell did a little bit to them that they didn't expect. This week, Lackawanna's doing it to Janesville DeWitt the same way Hornell did it to them.
Yeah, and Lackawanna was just, they were overdue for a good football game. They're too good of a football team to play like they did the last 2 weeks. I mean, Cornell, like I said, give them a lot of credit. Great ball game, great game plan, but just didn't, you know, they don't match up with Lackawanna.
No, undermanned physical team. Cornell, if you put them against Janesville DeWitt or Lackawanna, they almost won that football game. Probably should have won the football game.
I think the quarterback, Young, was a Brian Young. He was the difference. And today, Kelly, good quarterback too, but really hasn't played that well so far.
Second down and a bunch. Here comes Kinsey. Kinsey, they've got him stopped. And a gain of only a couple yards. He just can't break through that first wall of defense.
I was talking to Coach Moore, and he said, you know, we went down to see him play last week, and he said he takes a handoff, a little drop play, and goes 97 yards for a touchdown. So he's a little nervous about it. I'd say his defense is doing a nice job containing him.
Well, this drive, a good one so far as you look at Coach Bill Moore by the Red Rams of Janesville DeWitt, but taking a lot of time off the clock, approaching the 8-minute mark, time remaining in the third quarter. Now, you use 4 minutes and you don't score. That plays into Lackawanna's favor. Even though they are moving the football, now they're going to have to pass for it on third and very long, about 16. From their own 47-yard line, a long count by Chris Kelly. Rushes on, bad pass. Covered well by Messicar. Turner in the area also. They had everybody there for Lackawanna. They had 3 people. And number 5, Shannon Richardson. Shannon Richardson, we haven't called his number a lot, but he's been out there and in a lot of plays.
I'll tell you one thing. He has been putting his pads to use. He has had some big hits today. A lot of pressure. Lackawanna's speed is really confusing. There's a lot of trouble for DeWitt. They're having a lot of trouble with Lackawanna's speed on the inside.
Well, Lackawanna stopped them, and here's where they can really put some space into this game if they get a huge punt return. They're capable of taking one back all the way. And a kick by Wisshanger. Short, but a good job as he keeps it away from the dangerous Lackawanna returners. Not a long punt at all. He's out of bounds at the 34-yard line of Lackawanna.
But as you say, Walt, they take some time off the clock and don't get any points, and that's not to their benefit. And Lackawanna just believes in themselves today. That's the difference. They just, you know, they believe that they win this ball game, and they're obviously playing probably the best ball game they've played since earlier in the season.
Well, West on fire. He's got fire coming out of his mouth. See the steam there. The winner of this game will play the winner of the Ravenna game, and that will be Ravenna playing against Bethpage, I guess, is still alive. No, Wantage. The winner, Wantage, who are unranked, and Ravenna, who are ranked number 1 from Section 2. Wantage will try and pull off another upset. Here's Turner. Nice gain on first down across the 40 with 41. That's a quick 6 yards, 7 yards.
Yeah, he picks up right where he left off. A real good first half for him. 87 yards. Here he is here. He's picking his holes nice and just... And then the one thing is he's hanging onto the ball, and that's a real key for him today.
Now, Janesville DeWitt, as we see a man hurt on the play, Turner down, and this is bad for Lackawanna. Janesville DeWitt, the east side of Syracuse, right near Christian Brothers Academy. And Christian Brothers Academy, congratulations to them. In the C class, they've moved on to Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. I guess they just blew somebody out in the C class, and they're like next-door neighbor schools. That's a Catholic school, Christian Brothers Academy. They move on to the C, and Janesville DeWitt, their neighbor, trying to move on.
This is not taking that well. This is not good signs here. Turner coming off, getting pretty pressure on his ankle. You can look at it and see what happened on that play. Maybe someone rolled on his ankle, but that's not good signs. Not good signs for Lackawanna.
Because he plays offense and defense.
Yeah, good run. He was over the ball, but at the end here, 50 comes across. Yeah, and he looks like I don't know, it might be, I don't want to speculate on it, so we'll wait and see.
Hotelling on the hit, and here's Kowalski caught and dropped by Bill Phelps, their best down lineman, number 53, who goes 196 pounds, and senior at 5'11". Bill Phelps, an awful good football player. Short yardage, third down play coming up, then 2. And Lackawanna milking the clock, 6:50 to go in the third quarter. That's what you have to do, Mark. Just keep eating up that clock. 14 points is huge right now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, especially the way Lackawanna's defense is playing. I mean, you're not going to score 14 quickly on them.
Man, Lackawanna has really played a great football game so far. Third down and 2. Turner out of the lineup, their main man. So they go to Joey West. And West turns it upfield. Playing like a man possessed. 40. 36-yard line, Joe West.
And that's the guy, you like to see him give him the ball a little bit more because this guy is explosive. He runs a little bit different than Turner. I mean, he's really powerful. He's got such powerful legs. Kind of takes his time. Real well. Look at this here. They get to the corner once again. They're just collapsing their corner, getting outside. Joey West here, nice cutback, real strong runner, good strong set of legs, holds on to the ball. But what we're seeing now is that DeWitt's running basically two defense. They run a 4-4. And just look at that. They're running a 4-4, but when they get in the 50, we're seeing where they're in the 50. Lackawanna's going with that power left or right, and they're catching them in the 50, and they're getting to the corner.
And Joe West, a huge gainer with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, flags on the field. Joey West almost turned that into a touchdown run.
Yeah, and like I said, when DeWitt is in that 50, because I talked to the coach, said we play a 4-4 and we play a 50. The 4-4 is really what they blitz out of a lot, and the 50 is pretty much where they put the down lineman 3 in the middle. And Lackawanna's taking advantage of it, and they're not making the adjustments on that 50 to just get into the corner. And that's why they have a lot of success to the outside today.
Oh boy, Wade Turner, the junior, being aided to the locker room. Our Steve Bonzik is right on it, right on his tail, I see, as they're going through the tunnel. Maybe we'll get a report on that or an update. And Turner going to be taken to the dressing room. We might not see him back, and if we don't see Turner back, as you look at Coach Bill Brown, he was a real nice gentleman on the phone with his lineups, etc. If we don't see Turner back, they lose him at the linebacker spot on defense also.
Bad news for Lackawanna. The only good news is that West takes his place in the backfield.
Yeah, they don't lose a whole bunch. Here's West. 40. Look at this kid run. Fumbles the football late. Covered at the 31. And it's a heck of a thing to say you don't lose a lot when Turner, the player of the year possibly, in the area comes out.
Well, bad news for two. Bad news for Lackawanna. They lose Turner. And then look at here. This guy West, he is just ripping him up on the inside. You can't arm tackle this guy today. Bad news for Lackawanna. They lose Wade Turner. And bad news for Coach Brown from DeWitt that West is the replacement, because I'm telling you, West, both offensively and defensively, wants to get to the dome.
Well, West is just playing time away from being a 1,000-yard rusher. He gets the football, he's going to gain 1,000. And here comes Kowalski, quarterback keeper. Nice job. And Kowalski picks up the first down yardage. Kowalski continues to do the little things that help out. And we're going to take a look at Coach Brown in his file. Bill Brown, born May 18, 1955, hometown Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, educated at Stroudsburg High School, Syracuse University, sports, high school, and college football, honors all-state in wrestling, and he is. He's a mean-looking coach, boy, I'll tell you. Coach's file, Bill Brown, career, Holland Patton High School, you can see, 1-6, Tri-Valley, and 2-3 titles, and Section 2 and 3, coaching 4 years. Here, innate philosophy, we are not here to win, but to teach the kids the right way to live. That's a nice philosophy, if you can stick with that, which is hard.
Like you say, he looks like a mean coach. Well, we talked to him before the game. He was kind of pumped up there. He was calling out the calisthenics for. He looked mean then, but right now he's looking. He's looking a little meaner right now.
Well, he was really pleasant to me on the phone and did a great job giving me the lineups, etc. And speaking of great coaches, here we have some more.
There's the ace Cacciatore on the sideline. I'll tell you, happy for him. He's been in it for a long time. His team's one win away from going to the championship, and he's just a great coach. Really, some great kids on his team. He has a great staff, too. Looking forward to that ball game.
And you have to give Bill Moore his due. A great job this season, and in this game in particular. I mean, this is as well as Lackawanna can play.
Yeah, and the one thing I like to give him a lot of credit for, and I was talking to Walt, is that it's a delicate balance when you have so many good athletes in the backfield. Like you said, Joey West, Turner gets the ball and overshadows him, but, it's a tough balance to, give everyone the ball, share the ball a little bit, so, they have that nice chemistry, and he does a nice job with that. All of them carry the ball, and he gets it around to all the players, and it keeps them all happy.
Well, Bill Brown, I had a pleasant conversation with him, got his lineup, et cetera, so I said, I'm going to come talk to you before the game. He was pleasant, but, he was focused. Really focused on the game, and he would never expect his team to be down and be shut out with 4:29 to go in the third quarter. And Lackawanna, boy, they could really put a nail in the coffin if they score. Blitz is on. Kowalski's in trouble. He does a fine job to lose a couple of yards. And Kowalski loses a couple of yards, but did a good job. Just hang on to the football. No turnovers.
One thing he's good at is out of nothing. And here, like I said, he wins a sack, still gets himself back to the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you one thing. Coach Bill Moore has got more confidence in Kowalski than a lot of us do, because he asks him to do a lot. Not only pass the football, but he runs a lot of times on that option when you have Turner back there, and very quick backs that if you were coaching Mark, you'd probably give it to Turner more.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, there's the kid Kowalski, you got to give him a lot of credit. Last week in the clutch, and it was a fourth and 23, Walt, right. That big pass to Sirica and brings him back. Lackawanna, they actually should be at home watching today. But
he goes down.
He's one of the producer's favorite players. David D likes him a lot.
He loves him. And rightfully so. Charles has had a big year as a junior. That's Corey Paquigo. He's down. Corey, the Steelers' offensive line is in shambles.
Well, I'll tell you, if they win this ball game, they got to go on next week to the Carrier Dome, and they have. They are just, the troops are being depleted here.
Well, the good news for them will be they'd be one game away from a state championship for the first time in their history at Lackawanna High School. So you can patch up things for one game.
The other thing, give Coach Moore some credit as far as, like you say, patching up his team. He has a makeshift offensive line today.
Oh, yeah.
Just played a great game so far.
He brought John Dean at left guard and Robert Reese at right guard, and they haven't played offensive line all year. Took them out of the starting lineup on defense, kept Kavanaugh in, and had Kowalski and Davis. And a running play, and here comes Joey West. Nowhere on this carry, and Joey is pushed back for a loss on the play. See the red shirts converging, but there's Abadou on the tackle. If I'm a Red Ram fan,
you get a look at here. Finally, they make an adjustment here, though, Walt. You see, the outside wasn't there that time because they brought a couple of red jerseys, and they're lining up more on the power lineup that Lackawanna has. They're starting to bring in some more players to the outside, and they're not getting to the corner as easy. So about time they made that adjustment because they were getting to the corner and picking up big yardage.
Well, the Janesville Red Rams have got to score twice in this game and convert both their conversions just to tie. Plus, they have to keep Lackawanna off the board. That's a tall order. 3rd down and 14. Red Rams cannot give up the first down in this situation. The whip pass caught by Gilbert. Turns it up looking for the first down yardage. He's shy by about a yard. Now, if Lackawanna had a field goal kicker in this situation,
but I'll tell you, Walt, this one thing about Gilbert. When he catches the ball, he has got one of the quickest first steps. Watch this here. This is a big-time move right here. Catch the ball, makes that quick first step, and it looked like Wilbur was coming across there, and just Gilbert does the disappearing act, picks up another 5 or 6 yards. Kid's a big-time player.
Yes, he is. Kinsey on the stop almost looked like a defensive stop. They're going to go for it. 4th down and 1. Lackawanna's field goal kicker would have been Sirica, and it would have been a 32-yard try. A little out of his range. 4th down run. They need a block. Get the block. West got the first down as he crosses the 12-yard line. So Joe West will continue to drive for Lackawanna. Wow.
Let's go down to the sideline. I think Steve Vonsick has a report on Wade Turner.
Injury report for Lackawanna's Wade Turner. Very dramatic in the training room. Wade's got a sprained right ankle. He had his shoe and sock off, can barely get up on his toes, walking with a very noticeable limp. The trainer left it up to him. He said, "What do you want to do, Wade?" He said, "Tape me up heavy. I've got to get it another shot." So look for Wade to get back on the field soon. Now back upstairs.
Well, I think judgment will come in with Coach Moore and his staff. With 2:03 left, if they score here, there's no need to put Wade Turner in up by 3 scores and rest him for next week, unless the other team, the Red Rams, come back.
Well, and plus, you're not losing a lot with Joey West in the backfield from what we've seen so far, Walt. But, sometimes there's another injury there, Hoteling for the DeWitt
A lot of hard hitting out there, Mark, and I know you like that type of football.
Oh, yeah, on the turf. When it's this cold, the turf's a little harder than it usually is. But, talk about Wade Turner, sometimes those sprains, and there's a good look at Mr. Dick Gallagher, Western New York high school football guru.
He knows a lot.
He's got the Michigan hat on. He's rooting for the right team.
I wonder who he picked.
Yeah.
I guess they don't let him pick anymore. He got knocked out.
Yeah,
he didn't make it through the quarterfinal round with us.
That's because his heart's with the Section 6.
First down from the 11-yard line. And 2-minute motion to the left side. Lee, who hasn't carried the ball much in this game. West fumbles the football. Here's the break they need. West fumbles again. Free ball, and it's covered by the Red Rams. And what a break. Man, if number 52 comes up running with that football, that could be a touchdown for Luke Rabideau.
I tell you,
man, why cover it? Why not pick it up?
Under these circumstances, you want to pick it up and go in and get a quick TD. Oh, this is like Joey West. This is not a good play. I mean, he misses the pitch, but he tries to pick it up. Smart thing is to do what he does here, Rabideau. Just dive on the ball, especially in these conditions.
I say pick it up and run. Down 14.
Well, we look at it here. Like I said, the pitch is there. Joey West, he takes his eye off the ball. And like I said, bad decision to try and pick it up with the defense coming down on him.
And at the end of the first half, that was not the proper call. We talked to the officials. It was an inadvertent whistle. And that's why the play was stopped. The whistle was blown at the wrong time. Wilbur picks up a first down on the carry. If that was not an inadvertent whistle, that's why the kids stopped.
Yeah,
and the Lackawanna player stopped. That would have been a touchdown.
And this ball game, right, is 14-6 or 14-7 or 14-8. But right there, that's sometimes all they need is a little spark. And I'll tell you, with the firepower they have on this DeWitt offensive team, you give them a little bit of a spark. Wilbur rips off a big run here up the middle. First time really that the Lackawanna Steelers were open in the middle.
Strong back, 6'3", 209. They're right back in the game. The Red Rams, if they score, there's 1:14 to go in the third quarter. In motion, Lambert, quarterback in trouble. Flags all over the field. Do a motion call on the offense and set him back 5.
He caught Mike Donahue moving a little bit before the snap.
Now the Steelers playing without Wade Turner at the linebacker spot. Let's see who they're going to replace him with. You see Joe West is in there, but he normally starts. It's Angel Burgos, number 40.
Yeah, we're going to look at this. Mike Donahue jumps off sides. He's a little anxious. It's the first time his offense has actually moved the ball a little bit today, so they're raring to go here to DeWitt
on the left side. And Lackawanna, really, folks, seemingly ready to win the ball game right there. If they score, they put it away. That's what we feel up here in the booth. Frank Stewart will be calling the play-by-play of the big game. The Niagara Wheatfield Falcons say that's what he thinks. And what about those Falcons? I mean, they continue to win. You know, they win close games, and they're ranked number 1 now in the state.
And they got Frank Panisic on their team. The guy's got an S under his jersey.
See the penalty situation. Nice developing play here. And Lambert picks up 6 yards. Well, Kevin Sylvester referred to him almost as a god-like player in the...
Yeah, there's no question about it. I think the only way you stop him is you have a big box of kryptonite on the sideline.
In the preview show, that's hard to believe. I really think, I tell you what, Greece Olympia, after I watched the game back, which I rarely do, but I watched it, you fellas did a fine job. Me too, I was with you.
Thank you.
6-0 after one quarter, Greece Olympia was winning that football game. And 12-6, they were only down late in the first half. And with that ball fumbled, Steelers have it. Ball is fumbled, the Steelers come up with the football.
I'll tell you, Walt, we talked about it. We didn't call his name much. Shannon Richardson has had some big pops today, and on that play, I heard it all the way up here on the handoff. He almost takes the handoff, but boy, he just blasts the guy right here. I mean, Shannon Richardson just lets him have it. Ball goes up in the air. Lackawanna on top of it. And I'll tell you, well, there's some big hits by him today.
And it's Henry Porowski that comes up with the football. Number 76 is a substitute player both on offense and defense. And when that score was 12-6, you guys said, sit on the football. You told Armin Cacciatore, sit on the football. And they scored and went up 18-6, and that's how they won that football game, 31-6 then, talking about Wheatfield. So from the 32-yard line, Lackawanna back in business. Here comes Joey West, dives inside the 30 to the 28. 3 seconds, 2, 1. The end of the third quarter, and Mark Collins Lackawanna looks like they're ready to march to the Carrier Dome.
Well, like you said, Wheatfield wins it on defense. Lackawanna's defense is just out-hitting them today, Walt. And that's it. You know, to win this ball game, their defense is key.
You made the call. Defense was the key, and so far the Steelers' D has been up to the task. At the end of 3 quarters from Rochester, New York, Fowler Stadium, the Lackawanna Steelers 14, Gainesville DeWitt Red Rams nothing.
The things I used to say, or the things he used to do, will never come out of my mouth again. This year, 90% of women attending the Family Violence Program will get the help they need to assert their right to live in a violence-free relationship. Lives change when a community cares. United Way.
Here is Falk, and they stop him. They stop him for a loss on the play. Huge stop by Ted Washington.
In football, you can't score a touchdown without concentrating. The same goes for schoolwork. Kids need to concentrate to learn, and they can't concentrate if they skip breakfast and are hungry. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and it can be as easy as the school cafeteria. If you want your children to score in school, make sure they kick off the day with a wholesome breakfast.
And we're in the fourth quarter, 14-0, and it's Wade Turner.
Let's look at him. I'll tell you, he probably just wants to be on the sideline. I don't think they're going to put him in unless they need him, Walt.
I think he's going in. We'll see what happens.
I'll tell you, you know, with a 14-0 lead, the way their defense is playing, I'd like to have to sit him for next week.
Wade jogging on the sidelines with trainers. The nurse there, Diane Bosich, looking at him, seeing if Wade can go. 2nd and 5. Steelers looking to put this one away. Start of the fourth quarter. Here comes Joey West. He turns it upfield. Joey West near the first down stick. And who would have thought that Lackawanna would have scripted almost a perfect game here, defensively and offensively?
Well, like I said, when we looked at it, on paper, both teams, a lot of firepower, Walt, on offense. But really, to look at the defenses, that was the question, whose defense was going to play today. And Lackawanna has really shut down their offense. And they haven't been able to contain Lackawanna's speed.
And a great game plan implemented by head coach Bill Moore and his staff. Defensively, they've made all the right moves, able to hold this high-powered team down. Shut them out would almost be unheard of. Really, when you look at the points that this team has scored, the Red Rams coming into the game to have a shutout at this point is almost impossible. 3rd down and short. Here comes Joey West, who surges forward. First down, Lackawanna. And they're ready to nail this one down, I think, with 11:20 to go.
And now one other thing we're seeing that Lackawanna is doing today is they're executing well, and they're not committing a lot of penalties on the offense or the offensive line. Here we look at it, they open a nice hole for West, and he just knows how to get himself a yard or two when there's not much there. But like I said, just executed well. Not a lot of penalties, not a lot of holding on their offensive linemen, and that's how you keep the ball moving.
Robert Reese and the center Kavanaugh on the block. First down Steelers from the 19-yard line of the Red Rams. Gainesville DeWitt with 11 minutes to go in the ball game. Lackawanna up 2 touchdowns and milking the clock. Kowalski rolls right. They inbound. 20. 15, and Hogs tied down near the 13, a gain of 7, and the clock continues to run. And talking about Gainesville DeWitt, too, you look at their roster, a very small roster. You see,
that's Kelly, the quarterback.
Not many players on their roster at all, and this was their year. A lot of seniors going on. Their JV struggled at 1 win, 7 losses. Next year they're going to have to rebuild. Following year they might be a lot better. This was supposed to be their year, and it looks like it might end here. They had a great year, though.
Oh, no question about it. To make it this far in the playoffs, and unfortunately they didn't play their best game today.
Well, unfortunately for them, Lackawanna played their best game. Played a nearly perfect game except for a few fumbles, and they got almost all of those back. Here comes Joey West. Joey West caught the play they needed. Big play by number 44, Randy King, the weak side end.
But as you see, Walt, they finally made the adjustment in the second half to that power formation. I mean, Lackawanna's lining everyone up. You see Lee down there, you see Dickinson, and they give the ball to West, and Dilbert's there blocking. And finally, they're moving enough red jerseys to the outside and make that adjustment, and they're closing it down.
Well, if they have any chance to win this football game, any chance at a comeback at all, Mark Collins, that the Red Rams would have, they have to stop Lackawanna from scoring any points here.
Watch for Lackawanna to put it up in the air this time.
3rd down and 4. I wouldn't do that. Up 14-0. I'd be content. Keep it on the ground. And on the ground it goes to West. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Squirts forward and near a first down. He might have the first down yardage. Joe West running hard, gets up awful slow. He took a good lick in there. It appears that he's got the first down. First down, Steelers. And they milked the clock down to 8:59 to go, Mark, and they're in great shape.
Yeah, let me see. There's West there. Just this kid, I'll tell you, for a sophomore, what a luxury, though, for Coach Moore to be able to put him in after Turner goes down.
And Janesville, DeWitt, their defensive team has played a pretty good ball game against a strong Lackawanna offense. We haven't talked about the Red Rams defense that much, but they played well. Holding Lackawanna to 14 points. Their offense just didn't get it done. First and goal at the 9, Kowalski. Kowalski evades trouble. Now he's dragged down, out of bounds. No, the clock continues to run. With 8:30 to go, and that's a break for Lackawanna. No gain on the play, but the clock continues to move.
No, yeah, they're shutting that down. They're shutting the power sweep of Kowalski down. There's a look at it here. Like I said, they're just starting to shut the corner down. And it's too bad they didn't make the adjustment earlier in the first half. But right now, I mean, Lackawanna, they're going to have to mix it up a little bit because they know, they're doing a nice job on that now. They have to mix it up a little bit. I think Coach Moore is looking at it right there saying, they finally made the adjustment. We're going to mix it, little mixed bag.
Look at the time in between plays. 7:56, 7:53 now to go in the game. It takes like 30 seconds in between plays. You can really milk that clock, and they took too much time, but that's okay. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world, but they used up all of the time, and they'll be penalized for delay of game.
Well, we were just talking about it. They haven't been making a lot of mistakes, Walt, but that's one thing the coach is not happy with, especially when you're down there getting close to going to the end zone. I mean, those 5 yards, they're always tough. Yardage comes tough inside the 10-yard line.
Only 29 players on the roster for the Red Rams Janesville DeWitt football team. That's not a big roster. 29 kids and one up from the JV. So they played with 28 players. That's not a huge roster. Most B teams don't have that big a roster. Wide open, Dilbert looking for the end zone. 5, he's strong inside the 3. Derek Dilbert is like a college player out there.
I'll tell you, when he catches the ball, I mean, he's got great hands and the ability to catch the ball.
Big hands.
But really, he's his best after he catches it because he has some extremely great moves, and he puts one on Kinsey here. And Kinsey has the sideline. If you look here, that's the play they went back to. It worked early in the first half to get the one-on-one coverage, and they give him a lot of room. Here's a nice move he puts on Kinsey there. Almost gets in the end zone. Tough guy to tackle one-on-one.
That's about the safest pass you can throw, too. It's not going to be picked off. It's high percentage. You look at some of the Steeler fans. 7 minutes to go in the game. 3rd down and goal at the 3 for Lackawanna. It would take a miracle by Janesville DeWitt. They have to tackle the football, force a turnover. Running play to West. West bottled up, end zone, touchdown! He slid it away. They had him in the backfield, and Joey West scores. Lackawanna up now 20-0.
Like we say, West is really a powerful back. He's got good, strong legs, and you can't take him down with arm tackles. And one thing he does real well is when he makes contact, he's always spinning. And this time they get a good shot at him, but he takes the shot, he spins off, and maybe look here. That's it. He really knows how to spin well once he gets hit and he gets himself in the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, never been wrong about a football game.
Yeah, really. They give the offensive line some credit. They're doing a nice job.
20-0. And they'll go for 2 points. You've got Lee, Rashad Lee on the left, and Joey West and Kowalski throws wide open. 2 points for Dilbert. Boy, he is giving a little lesson to Adonis Kinsey in the defensive secondary.
He just turned Kinsey inside out on that one. Walt goes down, gives him a little shake and bake in the end zone, comes back, and is smart enough to just get one, just over the goal line, and just a bullet by Kowalski to get it there for 2. They're all cylinders are clicking for him.
Wow, Lackawanna has played the game of their lives. They haven't beaten this team. They thoroughly have beaten the Red Rams.
They dominated them today.
Convincingly beat them. Just like I beat up on Frank Stewart on the court. 22-0 Steelers. I wish I could take my pick back, but I'm really rooting for them to win. So congratulations.
Well, like I said, the defense. Give the credit to the defense. Their offense came through. It was a different offense today. Really had some nice sustained drives. That one right there. I mean, just the plays. They mixed the plays up, executing well. Like I said, not a lot of penalties to stop drives today. Just a total team effort, and that's what they needed to do to beat this ball team. But this is a good ball team in DeWitt.
Coach Bill Brown, you get in these athletic events, and he was looking forward to winning going on to the Carrier Dome. Not looking past Lackawanna. He knew they had great athletes, but he's just got to be scratching his head here, Mark. That looking up at the scoreboard, no points, with the talent he has on his football team. It just, from the beginning, it just didn't go their way. And I heard some people say in the Lackawanna crowd, because I know a lot of the fans say, well, if there was a fast track, Lackawanna would kill them. I'm not so certain about that. I think the track sort of helped Lackawanna here, because a misdirection wing T offense is very difficult to do misdirection, especially in the first half when the field wasn't clear.
Yeah, if we take a look at it, like I said, Lackawanna's been really controlling the ball. We look at right here, the scoring summary. About 9 plays, they go 33 yards. They take 5 minutes off the clock, and 5 minutes off the clock when you're up 14 is big time. And the West really has been a key back for them.
That's a second long drive. Lackawanna had a 6-minute drive to score, to open up the scoring at 5:32. And when you have big play back, usually you don't hold the football for 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's what they have to do, though. They're so used to scoring real quick with their big players. I think they have to kind of, go with the game plan that they're going to sustain and move some clock because they have such good backs. And I tell you, the big difference there was they brought the big linemen in. They were cutting off those blitzes, and they were getting to the corner, and they didn't make the adjustment in time.
Well, remember, Section 6 now has the defending champions in Class B, Springville, so Lackawanna will try to carry the torch.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be. And it's the third consecutive year that a B team will be in from Section 6 at the Carrier Dome from Section 6 in the B class. And almost breaking it over the 50-yard line is their man, Adonis Kinsey.
And there we get a little look at what this kid has probably done all season long. We haven't had a chance to watch him play much, but like I said, and sometimes that happens. Well, you got a great team, but you just come out and you have your worst day, probably the whole year for these guys.
Now, 6:41 to go, so it's not inconceivable. The game's still not over.
We saw the Buffalo Bills go to the Super Bowl 3 times, probably with the best team, between the two that were there, and they end up losing all 3 of them.
You're saying 22-0. Still, they're not out of the woods, Lackawanna. This team could come back and win with 3 scores. Unlikely, but remember the Orchard Park game against Fairport last week. Orchard Park, same situation, almost pulled it off.
Sarika just
got the fumble recovery for Lackawanna, and that will do it.
Sarika caught the option.
Did he catch it or did he hit the turf?
He catches it. This kid here, big plays last week. But, I think this guy right here, he's the most solid football player they have on the team. Actually, and why I say that, Walt, is because emotionally last week I was watching. He was the only kid who stayed in the game when they were down 12. Look at here. He catches the pitch. He deflects it and then gets on top of it.
Wow, Lackawanna doing everything right. 6:37 to go. A lot of Steelers who haven't seen much action. Jason Illig, you might see him in this football game. Jason Mitchell. Ansi Saif, Angel Burgos, who's played sparingly, Chris Kasperzak, Lackawanna with a first down at the 49-yard line. And here comes Joey West. West to the 44-yard line, possibly the 43. Paul Ryder, we've seen, we might see Ed Petrowski in the game, Scott Felbo, Jimmy Cook, Joe Pias, LeVar Swanson, some of the Steelers who haven't seen action, Rick Guerin, Lawrence Swanson, James Garcia, Ed Polakowitz.
Let's look at here. I'll tell you, that little 28 Wilfinger is a good football player, Ralph. He makes a lot of plays today. like I said, his team doesn't have their best game, but he hasn't given up. I'll tell you, that was a nice tackle. He really knows how to get to the ball.
Well, 10 college players on this Janesville DeWitt football team. 3 going to Division I, 7 potentially to Division III out of the 28-player squad, and they're being trashed here by Lackawanna. Here comes Kima Dickinson, looking for the end zone. 20, 10, 5, touchdown! Kima Dickinson. Wow!
Adding a little insult to injury here, Walt. I mean, that play was just, you can't execute a play any better than that one was. They had DeWitt so confused on that one, and Dickinson comes around. Block right here it is here, inside handoff. As I said, DeWitt just doesn't know what's happening here. Look at this hole, and a nice cutback by Dickinson. And uses his just track speed to get down there in the end zone, and that is it.
28-0. 5:38 to go in the game, and they line up for 2. Another look at it. I think he's going to score again.
I'll tell you, they have just incredible speed, incredible team speed.
Well, so does DeWitt. So that's the surprising thing here.
Yeah, but they have 4 or 5 guys with incredible speed. I mean, DeWitt might have 1 or 2, but they can't stay with Lackawanna.
And they try for 2, where they go to Gilbert again. They love to throw him the football. No, they go to the other side, up in the air, batted around, caught! Kima Dickinson! And it's 30-0 Lackawanna. And our pick looks solid now, Mark.
I tell you, well, not only do these guys have the speed, their athleticism is incredible. I mean, that catch right there on a day like today, there it is here. It's played well on defense. Gets up there, Lambert. I tell you, Dickinson just concentrates, tips the ball to himself a few times, and that's just great athletic ability.
30-0, the Steelers lead with 5:38 to go.
I don't think you're going to be able to show your face in Lackawanna.
Oh yeah, because I picked them to win the state title. I went on a limb.
How can you pick them to win the state title and lose today? I don't know.
I did it. Don't worry about it. I did it. I think I get more points, just like winning at a casino or something. You get more points for picking a state title than one game.
And look at the playing drive.
There's only one game, Mark.
Yeah. So there again, 3 plays, 49 yards. They're ripping them off now.
I wonder if we could look at the Lackawanna fans. They are ecstatic. They're going crazy. They can't believe what's happening here. They might have expected to win this football game, but not 30-0.
And actually, they had a lot to cheer about today. The last 2 games, they've been sitting on the edge of their seats because Lackawanna almost got knocked out the last 2 ball games. And today, there was no question about it.
And a rolling kick. Fumbled and handled and fallen on by Mike Lambert. And Lackawanna has done everything picture perfect in the football game.
And that pretty much tells the story for DeWitt. I mean, they fumbled that kickoff and just had a tough time holding on to the ball today. And Lackawanna's really getting after them.
They were really, really impressed, the Lackawanna coaching staff, with this DeWitt team.
Well, like I said, Bill Morrissey's take a handoff 97 yards. Kinsey goes on a draw play, and he just said, we're going to have our hands full. But his defense just played, what can you say?
And Steelers cheerleaders having some fun. Janesville DeWitt. Red Rams will pack it in at 10-2 for the year. There's still a lot of time left in the game, 5:35 remaining, and a pitch, and here comes their man, Kinsey. Kinsey bottled up again. He just can't get on track here. And let's go down to Steve Vonsick for this report.
We're here with Lackawanna High School Principal Bill Billowitz. Bill, you guys are going to the state finals.
Yeah, we're real happy about it today. We were here back in 1993, and we lost the game here in the semis, and we're excited about it today because we made no mistakes, and we certainly played well.
What does this mean to the student body, not only but the community of Lackawanna as well?
We're all excited. Lackawanna's got a great community. They follow us. We have a lot of fans here, and we're looking forward to having an assembly on Wednesday in school and bringing the whole city of Lackawanna down to Syracuse.
Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Back upstairs.
And a running play, and if the whole city comes down, as you look at 32 over, they'll pack that dome. Lackawanna's still a pretty good-sized city, about 18,000.
Yeah, and the fans will be a lot happier to go to the game next week because it's indoors.
Oh, that's a beautiful place to watch a high school football game, and what a thrill for any high school team to be able to play in the Carrier Dome and bring their community down and watch their football team, and especially because when the teams reach that point, if it's Lackawanna and Ravenna, that's a heck of a contest. It's always a good matchup, the finals. Quarterback Kelly having that rough game, picked up. Looking for the end zone is Gilbert to the 20 and pushed out of bounds. And this game has really fallen apart for the Red Rams, unfortunately. And if you would have been on the field with Mark Collins and Walter John Sears right next to the players who were in calisthenics in the pre-game ritual, you would never have thought the score would be like this, right, Mark?
No question about it. That play right there, Gilbert, he just sits back there. He was actually playing safety, giving some help to the outside. Just reads the quarterback. Quarterback actually locked in on one receiver. Gilbert reads the quarterback and just makes a nice interception.
I mean, they were so focused, the Red Rams, and Lackawanna was sort of at ease.
Well, like I said, I think Lackawanna came in here saying, hey, we didn't play that well the first 2 weeks, and, we got a better team than what we've showed, and let's just go and play a regular game, and that's what they did today.
Well, they played a perfect football game. 4:12 to go in the ball game, and a ball fumbled there. A few mistakes by Lackawanna putting the ball on the carpet. They've got to get by the Turner injury next week, get back some of their offensive linemen. They turn it over there. Kowalski fumbles the ball away. Or no, that's Jason Illig, the backup quarterback. He fumbles the ball away. So Illig getting a chance at the quarterback spot, didn't handle it.
Well, that's okay. It's nice to get a couple snaps because you never know. I mean, your quarterback goes down, you get a guy that doesn't have a lot of experience, but you get him a few snaps here. I mean, that helps out.
4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in the football game. Janesville, the Red Rams, and quarterback Chris Kelly, who threw for 16 touchdowns. Their offense struggled in this one. And he underthrows his main man there, Kinsey. Adonis Kinsey with 13 Division I scholarships on the table, 5,000 all-purpose yards, Syracuse, Boston College, Michigan State, Indiana, and Georgia Tech, just a few of the major colleges interested in number 8.
Yeah, you're going to see this kid. You're going to see that name on the back of the jersey at one of the big schools, and with his size and his speed and with his stats, I'm sure he's got plenty of football ahead of him, Walt.
Yeah, he's going to be a big-time player, and unfortunately for him, he didn't have his best game either with his team, and they ran into a very strong Lackawanna team. Quarterback Kelly in trouble, throws, and he hit his offensive lineman. Offensive lineman Nick Bissett. Those 279s has had bounce off him and a flag down.
A late flag, might have been a late hit, and it from the looks of it, the Lackawanna players actually helped Kelly up. So they didn't mean any ill intent here, but the ref does show a late flag.
You know, Chuck Funky has to be very happy.
That's Sarica again. He's just hit.
Chairman of Section 6, and he's got to be happy with last year Springville winning the B title, and this year Lackawanna getting into the B championship from Section 6. Let's take a look at last year, Mark Springville.
Look at this. That's him. That's Rendell, and he's off to the races. And he's also off to Hobart College, which I'm an alumni of. Happy to see him there. They had a great season.
Player of the year, right, last year.
I tell you, to get, like I said, talking to the coach, he said, you get to the Dome, you get to the championship, you can't believe you're there. And then to actually win it, he said it's like, surreal. You just, you don't even, it doesn't hit you.
And one of the biggest tests Springville would have had to face last year, Albion did the favor by upsetting the Lackawanna Steelers in the playoffs. And Springville never had to play Lackawanna in the playoffs last year at Rich. And they went in overtime before Springville beat them. That's how strong Lackawanna was last year, too. And ball fumbled. Steelers might have it for a touchdown. Free ball. Let's wait for the official signal. Touchdown, Steelers! What is going on, Mark Collins?
I tell you, again, I believe it was the main man, Joey West. Sarica gets on the fumble. He's always around the ball. But Joey West, I mean, he is just, they can't handle this guy today. He's a little buzzsaw. Here he is, right in the middle. Here he comes, right up the middle. Look at that. No one touches him. Just gets to the quarterback, strips him with the ball. Yeah, oh, boy, I'll tell you, Joey West one whale of a ball game, especially in a big championship game like this.
Well, who falls on the ball? Is it Dilbert?
I think Sharika gets
it might be Sharika, but Dilbert's getting all the pats on the sideline.
Someone's down for Lackawanna too, which is not good signs. They're battered and bruised as it is. They lose another guy here.
36-0. You just want this game to end now if you're a Lackawanna Steeler. No more injuries. Save some points for next week. You don't want to waste them all in the semi.
I'll tell you, though, if the defense picks up next week where they leave off today, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, but unfortunately, for Lackawanna, they might be facing the top team in the state, Ravenna, and that will be a real good ball game.
Yeah, well, if this guy comes to play like he did today, Joey West, he's getting up, he's a little shaken up on that play. Hey, I haven't seen a kid play a defensive game like that besides Frank Pavicic. He's dominated this kid West today.
Well, this Red Rams team came in, and they had players at 279, 276 weight-wise, 233, 242, 240. I thought at first look that they would be able to push the Lackawanna team around, but they never did.
Yeah, big offensive line, physical, but just can't handle the speed of Lackawanna and couldn't make the adjustments.
And couldn't run their wing T offense to perfection in very poor playing conditions the first quarter and the second quarter.
It's funny, when we were down there, just before we opened up, we were talking to David D., and we were both saying DeWitt's strong, and he was picking Lackawanna. I have to give him some credit.
Yeah, I picked Lackawanna for the state title on my one. I had right on the limb. That made me change my mind.
You made me change my mind.
Don't play me, Mark.
You took me down there while they were down there doing their exercise, and I got in the middle, and there was a lot of big guys on that team, and the coach actually just kind of barked at me a little bit.
Bill was focused, wasn't he?
He sure was.
But, Bill says that they leave it on the playing field, and he teaches his young men for success after football, which is great.
Yeah, and
we're not going to take this that far.
There's some of the Lackawanna Steelers, and they deserve to be doing a little dance on the sideline there. They got to look like they got to make the step. But I'll tell you what, one thing that I did scare me a little bit is that Lackawanna had made so many changes. They had to make some changes in their offensive line, and they lost a lot of players for all kinds of reasons, and so to come into a game like this, a big game like this, and not have your regular squad.
Well, if you look at the two teams, matched up the talent, matched up how this other team was scoring, and took 1,000 or 10,000 entries, you'd never come up with the score.
Oh, no question about it.
You'd never put the score down. Lackawanna going for two. Now, this is not rubbing salt into the wound. If you're a Red Ram fan, this is that the Steelers just don't kick extra points. So they go for two. And Illig hands it off to Angel Burgos. Burgos looking, cutting back, and he might have got in. Let's see. Or he might be just shy. Just shy of a two-point conversion. Burgos is stopped.
Just shy, but a nice effort by Burgos.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, nice effort by him to cut it back there.
Angel with great speed. One of my former Police Athletic League baseball players, as was Charles Kowalski.
Oh, by the way, Walter, Lackawanna, I went to the Tyra Bowl last weekend. The Lackawanna Broncos, the modified team, played South Buffalo, and they took it on the chin. But that's the way you get these kids. They come up through the modified, and they end up playing in the big championship games.
Well, you like Lackawanna's chances, and no matter who they play. There's no guarantee they're playing Ravenna. Ravenna has to get by Wantage, who won in overtime 7-6 against Bethpage last week, so you never know.
That little trio there, Turner, Dilbert, and Dickinson, they're not three better players in the state.
No, but I think what makes Lackawanna go is all their unsung players. You got Joey West, and you got the men on the line.
The guy like...
You got kids like Dean and Reese who get no credit, that are backup players that play very well.
I tell you, Shannon... Wow. Our cameraman... He's got it on the Gatorade. I tell you, Bill Moore is getting ready for a little bit of a...
And there's way too much time for Gatorade.
They're never going to see it behind Reese. He's definitely a good blocker.
Yeah, he's down to 298. Ball fumbled around, and Kinsey inside the 8-yard line.
They did get the coach.
Oh, that's a bad time. Coach Moore happy, but there's a lot of time left on the clock.
Oh, we're 36 zip. You could have...
And there's so much time left. You got freeze in these conditions. 3:37 to go in the game.
Yeah, at this point in the game, though, he's got to be one happy coach. Here's look at it
Big
again.
Reese.
I said Big Reese.
I said 298, 300.
He's screening. He picks up that Gatorade like a little paper cup and over the. Oh, luckily the coach had his hood on.
He shook it off. It was Big Reese. He had a good ball game. Running plays, short yardage. Well, let's talk about some of these kids from Lackawanna that made a difference here that normally don't start. Larry Lewis and Doug Harding as well.
Yeah, Larry Lewis had some big plays today.
Doug Harding, who got into the lineup. Robert Reese and John Dean moving from starters on defense to starting on the offensive line. Mark Kowalski.
Are we seeing? Is this an instant replay here, Walt? Oh, it's not an instant replay. That's Big Reese getting one of the assistant coaches.
Wow. Is that the assistant or is that Bill Moore again?
Well, I'll tell you,
I think it's Bill Moore a second time.
And nice to see him celebrating a little bit. And there's Mrs. Moore, the coach's wife, and she's got to be pretty happy about this one.
Oh, yeah. Big win for Lackawanna.
2 daughters. I'm so proud of them.
But like I said, Walt, they're doing a little celebrating, and rightly deserved today because they played a great ball game. Just look at it there. But you might not want to. You want to stay focused though.
You got to feel for the Red Rams because I don't think Lackawanna really padded their lead. It's just the way it went down.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they tried to pour it on.
Yeah, but like I said, you want to stay focused. There's still one more football game, and the biggest one in their lives next week in the States.
Casper Zach on that top. Let's talk about outstanding crew who made the trip in from West Seneca.
They did a great job today. I mean, the weather actually tailed off a little bit, but in the beginning, being down there on the cameras, it's got to be awful chilly.
And this is only game one of 2 games that they are covering. The mask is off. That's a true man. That's Wheatfield. They got the big ball game coming up.
The masked man.
Wheatfield playing Vestal. And Frank Stewart and Mark Collins will have that call, along with myself possibly, and we bounce to the 38-yard line. I really feel bad for Coach Brown not losing the football game, but by this type of score.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is not indicative of the type of football team he had, Walt. They just, like I said, sometimes nothing gets on track. I mean, you have a bad day. All athletes, great athletes, have their bad days. I mean, today these guys, great football team, come in here, some super players on offense and defense, and just don't get started. And
the way the final score goes down, 36-0, it sort of leaves a sour note in the taste in their mouth for their great season. Even though they went 10-2, even though they went to the semis, they weren't really competitive here in the second half.
But, the coach's quote, he said, it's not really about winning and losing football games. It's about how you raise these kids. And this is going to be a good lesson for them. It's going to be a tough one, but a good lesson for them.
Last year they were 8-2. They lost to Ilion 19-6. That knocked out of the playoffs. And here comes Feeney to the 30-yard line as Lackawanna will run substitute players. Lackawanna, for the first time in their history, gets past Harbor Stadium.
Attention Internet surfers, get online now and dial up OnlineExpressMusic.com, a worldwide web store featuring regional music from Western New York and Southern Ontario. Access the area's best music from Cottonmouth to Tom Stahl and more. Browse through the online catalog and download free sound samples. Pre-order new releases. Save 20% on CD and T-shirt combos, plus your guaranteed secure online credit card ordering. OnlineExpressMusic.com. Get online now and support local music.
Lackawanna, great game planned by Coach Bill Moore and his staff. They win it 36-0 over the Red Rams. Let's send it down to Frank Stewart.
Big win here, of course, for Lackawanna. Moving on to the Carrier Dome next weekend. One of our players of the game, a biggest asset for the Lackawanna Steelers, Joe West. Congratulations on a big game today.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe, let's talk about some of your action on the field today. You got in there a little bit later in the second half when Wade Turner was out. How did you find the running on this kind of a track?
I just followed my blocks and just kept my feet moving.
Okay, how about the touchdown? You said you had 2, but somebody took one away from you. What's that all about?
I had one. I was in the touchdown. It kind of slipped out of my hand, so my friend picked it up for me.
Congratulations on a great game. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe West, player of the game, and, of course, head coach Bill Moore. Now, Bill, talking before this game started, no way could you possibly envision a big win like this.
No, we didn't. 36 points. I talked to Coach Fitzroy on Friday, and I said, I'll get you 30. You give me a shutout. And he's like, that's the deal. I was very surprised that we got that many points against them.
Well, I got to tell you, watching it from the early going of the contest, Bill, your guys would not be pushed off the line defensively, and you guys forced a lot of play offensively. I mean, you pushed them right back up the field.
We had a few guys that stepped up today. We had a few injuries. We had one of our starting offensive and defensive linemen came down with the flu, and he made the trip. He sat up in the stands. He was just too sick to play.
Okay, how about the players' injuries? Anybody hurt for next week that you can think of at this point?
A couple ankle sprains, as far as I know. I wish somebody find a way to get Mike Messica, his ankle's all right. It's Tom Stampone's broken bone fix, so we're really doing business, I think.
Wade Turner should be okay?
I think so.
Okay, do you have any idea who you might be playing next week?
I believe Ravina's playing someone in no ranked. I don't know who they're playing. They're the number 1 ranked team in New York State, so who knows?
This should be a huge battle.
Yes, we're just happy to be there. We'll do the best we can to represent Section 6.
Looking forward to a great game. Congratulations. Bill Moore, let's go back upstairs to Walter John Sears.
Mark Collins, you really have to give Bill Moore and his entire staff their due for this game plan.
Just an incredible football game for Lackawanna, Walt.
Well, great win, and congratulations to the Red Rams and James DeWitt. Great season at 10-2. The rights to this broadcast have been granted by the New